Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Wes Craven's Scream 3 from the year 2000. So yes, we're back once again to discuss the Scream film, and yes, once again there will be spoilers, in this discussion. So if you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend seeing it first, and then come back to this video, and you can rest easy that you won't kind of get plot points, revealed to you. And yes. With all that said, let's dig in, of course. I really enjoyed so far talking about these films, on the channel, and of course, Scream 3 today, and very soon as well, I plan on reviewing Scream 4, and it's been just a few days since I kind of rewatched that film, and really had a very enjoyable time with that, and can't wait to see your reactions to these films, and discussions on Wes Craven and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, Scream 3. Once again, this is not too loved overall, and it's a film that I saw quite a few times when I was younger, and I guess just watching this trilogy, it was a great time for me, and especially the first film. But the more and more I see Scream 2 and 3, I kind of, there was that instant kind of, excitement around these for me, and just the overall trilogy as a whole, it's just a very, pleasing experience. Scream 2 and 3, I guess the more I watch them, they really do grow and grow on me, and I think Scream 2, is now a great film, and it's just Scream 3 as well. I know this is not, a popular film really overall. In fact, it could be the least popular Scream film, overall, I guess. And yes, despite all that, and kind of the criticism this film gets, I personally, really have many things to say about this, positive things, and I think this is actually a very good film for me. It really is. Again, it's kind of going back to this meta, narrative, but Stab 3 being a film within a film anyway, and of course, what happens in the film, kind of mirrors that, and the characters are playing, of course, our main characters from the previous films, Sydney, etc. And yes, of course, people start getting dispatched, on the set of Stab 3, and then of course it brings back these other characters like Sydney and of course Dewey and yes, Gail, and they will kind of come together, and they kind of join forces with the actual on-set members, the casting of Stab 3, and just kind of these two separate teams kind of become one, and they're trying to survive together, and throughout the film, and it's a very interesting and unique kind of structure of this film, and I think it's very interesting as well. Once again, it's kind of this whodunit film, and kind of exploring violence, but in a comedic way, and also this kind of exploration of trilogies now as a whole, as opposed to Scream 2 being mainly a sequel, especially a follow-up, straight up follow-up to a particular film, in a franchise, and I guess this time around is an overall trilogy this film is exploring, and kind of the relationship between the different films of the trilogy, and just how expectations and all this kind of stuff feed into this, and the way in which characters kind of I guess are revealed, and different things relate back to the first film, as well as kind of following up the middle portion of the trilogy, and it's very, very interesting, of course, and really fun in the way it's kind of portrayed. And I think Wes Craven once again directed this film really, really well. I think the kind of the editing here is very sharp, and just a very nice flow at times. I think overall, I did prefer the first kind of hour of the film, but I guess yes, I do have some things. I guess things that happen in the kind of last act of the film that I wasn't big on. I think some of the kind of reveals, and we'll get to that very soon. But the main reveal, especially being not something that I disliked, but I have. I guess it's not one that lands perfectly for me, but we'll get to that. But the opening scene, it's this hilarious, but kind of disappointing at the same time, opening scene, and of course Cotton Weary, is back, and he does unfortunately, yes, gets dispatched, in this opening, and he was a great character, I found, from the second film, and he was obviously as well, kind of he made an appearance in the first Scream film, but he was one of the kind of the actual characters really in Scream 2, and of course played by Liev Schreiber, and he was great, and I really loved Schreiber's kind of take on this character, his portrayal, and seeing him, you know, is really hilarious. You know, his kind of show, 100% Cotton. You know, just seeing him kind of going about, you know, the first you know, opening scene, you know, is very funny and satisfying. But then, of course, he is dispatched, and you know, that then kickstarts, you know, this whole kind of yeah, these shenanigans, of course, that kind of you know, it leads to different moments throughout the film, and you know, different characters coming back, and you know, this whole kind of past experience, you know, especially for Sydney, this trauma being brought back for her, and her returning, you know, to this this chaos, and you know, all the kind of killings that are taking place, you know, to different members, you know, of Stab 3, and you know, it's a very interesting film, you know, because these characters, although some of them you could say, you're not as well written, I do feel, you know, Erin Kruger was the main screenwriter for this, although Wes Craven did, you know, kind of rewrite this film, you know, in different ways, I guess I've heard, and you know, kind of. You know, he did have, let's just say, an involvement in the script, although you know, he's not actually credited. You know, of course, and Kevin Williamson, you know, he did the previous two, and he did Scream 4 as well, of course. And I think there is this kind of the sense that the script is not as strong, perhaps, as you know, the other films in the franchise. But you know, despite that, you know, I think you know, to see these, you know, these actors once again portraying these characters, and of course Wes Craven pouring his heart into this once again, you know, doesn't really you know, hurt the film too much. I guess, you know, they're not 100%, you know, the exact same characters for me. It feels like, you know, in the way they portrayed, I guess, and written to, you know, Scream 1 and 2, but you know, near enough, I guess, you know, because you know, the actors are, you know, portraying them, you know, just in a very, you know, I think commendable way, and I think especially Dewey and you know, Gail, they are, you know, again, there is this kind of feeling of, you know, kind of. I was a bit frustrated, you know, when, of course, you know, when I first saw this, and you know, they had broken up, you know, and kind of thing, and then, you know, it's this whole kind of thing for them to get back together again, and you know, it's kind of repeating for me the second film, and the kind of events of that film, because I thought at the end of that, you know, I guess. It really was, you know, just fully satisfying, and I thought, you know, that's how, you know, it's gonna remain, I guess, you know, when I first saw it, and you know, if they are gonna be together. But once again, we have this kind of feuding, and them, you know, having broken up in between, you know, these kind of 3 years in between the second and third film. But you know, I guess, you know, it's nice to see them. You know, once again, you know, that friction there, and it adds this dynamic, but you know, at the same time, it's kind of frustrating a little bit, but you know, overall, you know, the writing, while not being as strong, I feel, you know, it has this kind of layer of, you know, depth, I guess, and kind of interesting comparisons to be made, because, you know, even though these characters as well, the new characters, you know, the kind of cast members, you know, of this Stab-free film, even though they're not, you know, as compelling as, you know, our previous, you know, characters, you know, I guess they are playing these characters, and you know, they kind of, there is some similarities, and just interesting moments to kind of, you know, contrast, compare, and it's just very interesting to see them actually playing these characters, and how, you know, our original characters react to this. You know, it's just very, you know, at times it does make for some very interesting character moments, you know, I guess, and just, you know, character development as well, and there are some solid performances as well from the kind of new characters in this film, and I think as well, you know, we get later on in the film, and we have this very you know, mysterious you know, set of sequences, and then of course things change, and we go into the kind of the final act of the film, and you know, then of course we have these reveals, and they are, you know, really heavily focused on this time round in terms of, you know, exposition, and just, I guess, you know, really going back to the first film, and whether or not, you know, it kind of it really, you know, kind of pays off, I guess, and just, you know, the whole kind of way in which we have, you know, this whole kind of bring back events of the first, and you know, the actual emotions of this, and you know, I guess for Sydney especially, you know, perhaps it doesn't work perfectly, and you know, I have my reasons for that, but you know, I think the film, you know, it's really well shot once again, and I think the score by Marco Petrami, you know, is really good, of course, and not as strong, you know, as the previous two, in terms of, I don't listen to this as much, you know, it's not as kind of atmospheric and you know, enjoyable to listen to. But you know, it's a really good score, and you know, much praise to Beltrami you know, for this, and it works well you know, in relation to the characters and just this world. I think as well, the first kind of hour of the film, especially early on, you know, it's really, once again, really warm, and I think Wes Craven, you know, he always makes just films that are full of heart, and you know, he was such a great filmmaker, and you know, it's just it's a shame, of course, he's no longer with us, but you know, he was such a kind of master horror director, and always kind of you know, imbuing this sense of warmth and charm you know, to his films, and this one is no exception. I think this really is such a kind of warm film. It has this kind of magical moments, especially the actual ending, which we'll get to as well. But you know, I think the first hour of this film, you know, it's really, really strong, and you know, does kind of go off a little bit in the final act. But you know, I just love seeing, you know, Sydney this time round. You know, she is kind of even more isolated, and she is, of course, you know, she has this occupation, and you know, this kind of counselling. It's very interesting to see that, you know, and how she's kind of ended up, you know, after all this time, and you know, she's gradually becoming more and more isolated, but also, I guess, in the same way, at the same time, sorry, you know, more, you know, a stronger person, and kind of. She can defend herself more, I guess, you know, throughout these films, but she is becoming more distanced, you know, from society, and you know, more isolated this time. Really living in isolation, and you know, for her own choice, and you know, it really is powerful to see this, and just the way Neve Campbell once again, you know, portrays this character. You know, she is great in this film, and I love you know, what she's done with this character throughout the different films. You know, familiar, but you know, she is growing in particular ways, and she is kind of you know, really kind of creating this, along of course with the screenwriters, you know, and the director, of course, Wes Craven, this character arc over the course of the 3 films, and it's not just the same character in that sense coming back. She, you know, she is changing with each kind of passing film, and even more so once again in Scream 4, which we'll get to. But you know, really, really enjoy as well. You know, seeing David Arquette and Courtney Cox back again, and David Arquette, you know, really is hilarious once again in this film. You know, as of course Dewey, and just seeing. Once again, you know, he's even more wounded this time round, and you know, he is received, of course, you know, kind of injuries from the first film and the second film, and just the way he kind of goes about in this film, you know, it's kind of, I guess it's played for laughs, and you know, it's very strange the way he maneuvers, you know, just moves about and stuff. You know, his stance, you know, is quite funny in the way it's done. But you know, seeing him once again, you know, it's just great, and I love how we have these 3 you know, core characters returning in each entry, and you know, just seeing yeah, Courtney Cox once again. You know, she is a bit different as well. You know, the character of Gail. But, you know, there is this kind of welcome return to these characters, as I say. They're not quite exactly the same. I feel personally in the way they're written. But you know, it's great to see them back, and you know, kind of yeah, it's just a very enjoyable film. You know, I love what it does. You know, the comments it makes once again on cinema, and seeing, you know, kind of moments on set, and all this kind of stuff. It's very, very fun to see, and you just I love films when they do this, and just portray it in this way, and I love the kind of the relationship between the actual you know, original characters, and you know, those that are playing them you know, on set, and you know, for this stab-free film, and it's just really cool to see. But then we get to the final act, and this is when things, I guess, to sum it up, you know, there are some interesting moments, but overall it's a bit messy for me, and I think it doesn't quite land perfectly. I know what it's trying to do, and it's really bold to actually go back and you know, kind of try to alter, you could say, events of the first, and you know, or perhaps add something different, you know, where perhaps you would look at the film a bit differently, and you know, the reasons for, you know, for example, what happened in the first, and yes, you know, it is trying to do that. Of course, we learn that Roman, you know, is the actual killer, and he is not only that, you know, he is also the half brother of Sydney, and you know, being the son of Maureen Prescott, and this is very, very big, you know, in terms of, you know, plot points, and just how it kind of affects the first film, or at least, you know, attempts to, you know, in terms of the actual plot itself. But you know, for me, it doesn't quite work perfectly. I think, you know, seeing this character of Roman, him being the director of Stab 3, and it's very, it kind of, you can piece that together, that he's the one that's killing off these characters. He is the mastermind of that. Then, of course, to learn that he is, the half brother of Sydney. This is the thing that kind of, it has me, kind of a bit, confused, at that. Not in the sense of hard to understand, but just the actual choice of this to include this and to actually, make this, the reason for as well, the character of Roman being the one who instigated, Billy in the first film. This is kind of, it doesn't work for me fully, and it's just a one that, I guess it's bold to do this, but it doesn't really work perfectly, and there is some moments that they kind of they do make sense, but other times not really, and it kind of feels a bit cheap for me, and but I do really enjoy in the kind of performance of Scott Foley, and what he's kind of doing in this film, and it's very over the top in the end as well, which is great to see, and the campy nature of the final act once again. But I guess this film, it really tries to bring this together, this franchise, this trilogy, and it really does well. In some areas, but I guess this twist itself, the actual reveal of this character of Roman being the half brother of Sydney, doesn't work perfectly. It's not a film that kind of has a bad twist, in my opinion. It just doesn't quite land fully for me, and just for my liking. But having said that, the actual ending itself, is great, and of course Patrick Dempsey, he is someone who plays this character of Mark Kincaid, and I do as well. Forgot to mention, enjoy him throughout the film, and we have this kind of, is it him? Kind of the mystery of that, and I guess it really is, kind of drawn out in that sense of, he is, who would appear to a first-time viewer, of course, he is possibly involved in this, in the killings, and just he really is suspicious in this film. But we come to the final act, and of course it's revealed that he was not behind this, and he was just, maybe a strange guy. But yes, he does end up, Sydney, of course. And, Gail and Dewey, kind of sitting around in the final scene, and about to watch a film, and it's a really nice scene, and of course, Gail, is proposed to by, of course, Dewey, in the final scene, and it's really great. So satisfying to see that, and of course, we'll talk about Scream 4, which is really great to see as well, how things end up, and yes, to my surprise, the first time round, it did not end up in the same way it's ended up in every film with them. But yes, seeing, of course, this moment, and then, of course, Sydney going out, and finally, yes, finally kind of leaving the gate open, and being in that sense relaxed, and she feels she can rest easy, and she's no longer kind of feeling this anxiety, and this worry, and feeling threatened, and having to kind of really be isolated, and she feels at peace, I guess, and it really is a satisfying conclusion to this trilogy, and just again, the satire in this film is great at times, and just the comments on trilogies, and all the different kind of moments on set, and this kind of these comparisons that are made between the actual original characters and those that are playing them, and all this kind of comedy in the film. Is a very funny film at times, and Dewey as well. Once again, David Arquette really adds most of the comedy in this film, and just the way it's directed, and the final shot is wonderful to see. Those final shots, and the location there. The cinematography, once again, is so kind of warm and nostalgic, and great memories of seeing this. It really is a film that I love, in many regards, and overall, I really enjoy this film because it's a very effective kind of conclusion to the trilogy. It is my least favourite of the trilogy, no doubt there. But for me, this is definitely underappreciated, and I really like this film a lot more than kind of most people out there, I guess. And it's just my opinion, of course. It's not a film that I'm saying everyone will like. It's not a film that I think everyone will take to. But that's just the case with every film. There's no film that everyone in the world likes, and Scream 3 for me, it just really is a highly enjoyable film, very well made, and I just think the final act, it has some issues. There are some problems there for me. But when it really matters, the heart of the film, the soul of the film, and emotionally, the wrap up for the characters, it is very satisfying. And I guess the twist, it wasn't really one that worked perfectly for me with the actual killer. But when it really matters about these three, especially kind of main characters, and Sydney, of course, where she ends up, how she kind of transforms, and it really does bring closure to this. It's just, it really is satisfying and very warm. I love the visuals, I love the music there. It just gives me shivers, and seeing these films, as a kid, as I say, it really was one of the many kind of trilogies that made my childhood, and just really having a great time with this. And Wes Craven, once again, hats off to this filmmaker, bringing these films, very violent and shocking, and this kind of really disturbing nature, which is kind of very appealing to me as a kid, and also this warmth and this charm and comedy. It was a film, a trilogy, of course, that made my childhood, and especially the first film, and the second and third, though they've really grown on me as well. I've always liked them, but I think I really do like Scream 2. I love Scream 2 now, and I really like Scream 3. Again, it's not, these two films are not too popular, but I really defend them, and I think they are just, really unique and worthy films, to the original, in my opinion, and just such a kind of solid trilogy. I mean, just seeing these films again, reminding me just how kind of strong this is as an overall trilogy, and of course, it could have ended here, fun enough. It could have been the ending film. Of course, we have Scream 4, and we do have another film coming out as well, and I think it's just titled Scream, which is kind of annoying when they do that. But seeing this, will be very interesting, of course, and I will go and see this film. Of course, it's not directed by Wes Craven, but these films are, and once again, hats off to this director. But yes, once again, I'm reminded, seeing this recently, of how well, Wes Craven brought these together, these films, and just overall as a trilogy, as I say, so strong, yes indeed. And for me, my final rating for Scream 3 is an 80%, so yes, a really high score from me. I just really like this film. In fact, the first half, you could say I loved quite a lot of this, and just really great to see these characters returning, and the way in which they do come back, of course. And there are some frustrating moments, I guess, here and there, especially, the opening sequence of Cotton. I really wanted him to live, throughout the film. It's very sad to see that, because I really wanted Cotton to be another, character, in this film, throughout the narrative. But I guess not, and that's kind of one of the frustrating moments, and some of the twists, and just different moments here and there. But overall, I'm a big fan of this film. Once again, I do defend this film, and I think it's really underrated, underappreciated, kind of thing. And I guess I understand, some don't like this film, and it may be disappointed to some, in terms of follow up to the previous two, and I guess as I say, not everyone will like this film. No film is for everyone, but for me, it really is a very special film, and just great memories of seeing these films, and once again, Wes Craven, true master. And this is not a great film overall, but it really is a film that has greatness in there, and it really is a highly enjoyable slasher, whodunit, of course, satire, comedy, drama, and to see these characters across these three films, it's just so great. And of course, this spiritual, warm, uplifting ending. This is just really is so pleasing to see the actual final scene, and it's just seeing, of course, as well, Jamie Kennedy. I forgot to mention the kind of cameo, in this film. It's just hilarious. He does look a little bit older, in this film, but of course, it's meant to be a recording, from when before he kind of, passed, during the events of the second film. But it's just he does look a little bit older and different here, and I made this kind of joke, where. Family member, what if, he came back every film, there was a cameo once again, and it was just another recording of Jamie Kennedy, looking, 10 years older, for example, the fourth film, and you know, just keep going with it, and you know, just pretending to be, you know, when he was actually alive, you know, in the second film. Very bizarre. I guess they can kind of get away with it you know, in this film because it is a few years after, but nevertheless there is a noticeable kind of difference here, you know, in his appearance, and it's great to see him though, you know, in this kind of once again upbeat, you know, kind of portrayal, you know, of Randy, and you know, he was a great character, and I am glad that he was in all three films, technically, you know, this trilogy, and you know, it's just great to see that, and yeah, just you know, a bigger budget this film as well, 40 million, and that is something that adds, perhaps at times, but not too much. I think, you know, the first film, you know, is just a stunning film, and it's great to see, you know, these films are treated with care and attention, you know, and passion across the entire trilogy, and the budget, you know, for me, does not matter really, and I guess, you know, they're all effective in their own ways, and you know, this for me is a very effective film indeed, and wrapping this up, and of course it could have ended there, but we have Scream 4, and we would you know, discuss that film next, whether it be in a week or so, perhaps it will, yes, around a week or so from now, this upload, we'll discuss Scream 4, and I look forward to that, and hearing your thoughts on that film. It's the one that I've only seen twice, so yes, seeing it again very recently, that was only my second watch, and you know, really a very surprising film actually. I'll say it now, I do like that film, and I have much to say about that one, and yes, it'd be great to hear your thoughts on this film, Scream 3, and of course the entire trilogy. It'd be great, and just Wes Craven, once again, honouring this filmmaker, and this true master of horror, and you know, really these warm films, you know, these shocking films, and just what a trilogy it is, and once again, such a great filmmaker, and yes, it'd be great to discuss, you know, all these films, and yeah, Scream 3, what do you think of this film? It'd be great to hear, and you know, this is my opinion of the film, but what do you think? It'd be great to know, and yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.